बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर जा पहुंचा 190 रनों पर 13.0 ओवर के बाद। संजू सैमसन का काफ़ी अच्छा फास्टेस्ट शतक रहा है, मात्र 40 बॉल में 100 रनों की पारी खेली है। वहीं पर अब खेल अभी तक करेंट अभी बल्लेबाजी कर ही रहे हैं। दूसरी ओर अगर बात करें तो बल्लेबाजी करते करते यहाँ पे 106 रनों पर अब पहुँचे हैं 44 गेंदों में, और ईश्वर कुमार यादव 31 गेंदों में 66 रन की पारी खेल रहे हैं। संजू सैमसन हालांकि थोड़ा धीमे हो चुके हैं अभी। अब देखने वाली बात होती है कि यहाँ 13 ओवर का खेल समाप्त होती है। अब सचिन 42 बॉलों का खेल और बचा हुआ है। क्या यहाँ से 42 बॉलों में टीम इंडिया 100 रनों तक पहुँच सकता है या नहीं? हालांकि अगले पिछले 5 ओवरों में 100 रन तक इंडिया पहुँच सकता है। अभी 7 ओवर है, देखने वाली बात होगी क्या यहाँ से पहुँच सकते हैं या नहीं से पहुँच सकते हैं। बल्लेबाजी नीतीश रेड्डी, हार्दिक पांड्या, रियान पराग जैसे दिग्गज बल्लेबाज, ऑलराउंडर बल्लेबाज कहा जाए, और अभी ईश्वर कुमार यादव और संजू सैमसन 20-30 रन अगर ये दोनों भी मिलकर बनाते हैं तब तो अच्छी पारी है। और यहाँ संजू सैमसन ने 4 रनों के लिए खेल दिया है। संजू सैमसन ने हल्के हाथों से खेल दिया है 4 रनों के लिए। इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 194 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है 13.1 ओवर के बाद। 94 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। मात्र 41 गेंदों का खेल अभी तक अब बचा हुआ है। 41 गेंदों का खेल बचा हुआ है। टीम इंडिया ने 2-0 से अभी तक सीरीज को अपने नाम किया है। वही देखने वाली बात होती है कि यहाँ से 194 रन तक कभी बन चुके हैं। 13.2 बॉल के बाद 195 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। सूर्य कुमार यादव हल्का थोड़ा धीमे खेल रहे हैं अभी तक। पार्टनरशिप की बात करें तो अभी तक मात्र 171 रनों का पार्टनरशिप हो चुकी, जो हाईएस्ट पार्टनरशिप भी माना जा सकता है T20 का। काफ़ी खतरनाक पार्टनरशिप हुआ है, जिसमें से 8 छक्के और 11 चौके की मदद से 110 रनों पर खेल रहे हैं संजू सैमसन। वही 5 छक्के और 6 चौके की मदद से 166 रनों पर खेल रहे हैं सूर्य कुमार यादव। अब देखने वाली बात होती है कि बचे हुए 40 बॉल का खेल और शेष बचा हुआ है। 40 बॉल में देखने वाली बात होती है कितना रन बनाने में कामयाब रहते हैं। वही संजू सैमसन काफ़ी अच्छी बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं, जिसके लिए उन्हें ओपन करने का मौका मिला था। उन्होंने अच्छी तरह निभाया है ओपन करने के लिए। अपने T20 करियर का मात्र 32वां मुकाबला खेल रहे हैं, जिसमें हाईएस्ट उनका 77 था। अब हो चुका है 111 रनों पर पहुंच चुके हैं। 196 रन हो चुके हैं 13.3 ओवर के बाद। क्या इसी ओवर में 200 रन आएंगे, पूरे होंगे? देखने वाली बात अभी 3 बॉल शेष है, और फिर से यहाँ पे बॉल लेकर मुस्तफिजुर रहीम तैयार। क्या यहाँ पर फिर से देखने वाली बात बाउंड्री आती है या नहीं आती है सूर्य कुमार यादव के यहाँ, और बॉल हवा में है। संजू सैमसन का विकेट यहाँ पे गिर चुका है, और इसी के साथ दूसरा विकेट मिलते हुए यहाँ पे मुस्तफिजुर रहीम को। हालांकि अच्छी पारी खेल के जा रहे हैं संजू सैमसन, 47 बॉलों में 11 रन की पारी खेल के जा रहे हैं। कैच आउट हो चुके हैं यहाँ पे संजू सैमसन। कैच आउट होने के कैच आउट हो चुके हैं। देखने वाली बात होती है यहाँ पर कि कितना रन बनाने में कामयाब रहते हैं। बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर धीरे धीरे आगे की ओर बढ़ता हुआ 196 रनों पर जा पहुंचा। हालांकि यहाँ पर जो टीम इंडिया ने विकेट खोया है, काफ़ी नुकसान में जा पहुंचे हैं टीम इंडिया। हालांकि रनों का अगर बात करें तो जीत के लिए रन बन चुके हैं, अब मात्र रिकॉर्ड के लिए रन बनाने चाहिए। जीत के लिए रन बन चुके हैं और रिकॉर्ड के लिए रन बनाए रियान पराग को भेजा गया है। अभी देखने वाली बात होती है कि रियान पराग यहाँ कितना रन बनाने में कामयाब रहते हैं या कैसे बल्लेबाजी करते हैं। और यहाँ पे बॉल लेकर तैयार है, हल्के हाथों से खेल कर एक बॉल पर एक सिंगल लिया है रियान पराग ने। हार्दिक पांड्या से ऊपर भेजा गया है, क्या बात है, देखने वाली बात होगी कि हार्दिक पांड्या से ऊपर भेजने के लिए क्यों भेजा गया है, आखिर सूर्य कुमार यादव ने क्या सोचकर बुलाया है। हालांकि हार्दिक पांड्या को अंतिम ओवरों के लिए रखा गया है। जानते हैं मुंबई इंडियंस में कैसे रन बनते थे अंतिम 5 ओवरों में, वो इसी तरह रोक कर रखे हैं अभी तक।
Kronos bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Roderick and beats him with a ball that seems back, and they're claiming a catch at the wicket. Roderick is looking down the pitch at the umpire, looking innocent, and he's going to stay there because Warwickshire don't get their decision. Barnard was pretty confident that that had flicked the inside edge, but he didn't win the appeal.
Yeah, difficult one to say. It might have flicked the top of the pad, certainly back in through the gate, bit of bounce. Quickest, but that carried through very nicely.
Leading wicket taker and run scorer in this competition for Warwickshire this season, and here he goes, bowls again, he brings another one back through Roderick's defences, and it goes over the top of middle stump.
Yeah, he's the absolute king of this competition, isn't he, Ed Barnard? These last 2 years since he came here, and top run scorer I think last year, and also took lots of wickets, he's carried on the same this year. Jake Libby, the opposition captain in this particular game, the highest run score I think in this competition in the last 3 or 4 years. And between them, they've been very dominant.
Barnard bowls and Roderick is getting a half volley outside off stump and drives it firmly up to Theo Wiley at mid-off. You come to these commentaries often, you'll know that there's the usual routine of some local radio updates, which I shall dispatch shortly for this hour for listeners to BBC Radio WM and BBC Commentary on Warwickshire before getting to the meat of it. The Hampshire or the Leicestershire-Hampshire game just getting underway at Grace Road as well. Keep you in touch with that. Here's Barnard bowling the ball that pitches outside the off stump and moves away from Roderick, who's having nothing to do with it. The power play is technically the first of the power plays. There's all different stages of power play, but the point that you need to know is that within the first 10 overs, only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard fielding circle. This is Mike Taylor at Edgbaston, where Warwickshire and Worcestershire Cup, and Warwickshire hoping that there might still be maybe a bit of dampness around from last night's rain. Having won the toss, have put Worcestershire into bat. They show one change from the team that played at Rugby School on Wednesday. Tazim Ali left out and Oliver Hannon Dolby favoured. Worcestershire bring back Adam Hose against his former county and the young seamer Jack Home into their side that lost to Lancashire the other day. One fervent appeal for a catch behind turned down in Ed Barnard's first over, so Worcestershire over. Commentary continues on the BBC Sport website. This is Mike Taylor at Edgbaston.
And Ollie Hine Dolby is going to take up the attack from the City end, bowling to the left-handed Pollock, player who will know extremely well after Pollock played here for the Bears before moving back home, as it were, to Worcestershire. Having gone to school in Worcester for most of his senior school career before moving up to Shrewsbury for the 6th form. 2 slips in place, Hannon Dolby in, beat Pollock outside the off stump. Already plenty of encouragement for both the opening bowlers. Ed Barnard, as Mike Taylor was just saying, with that big shout for caught behind, turned down in the first over. Also went past the bat a couple more times in that over. And Ollie Hannon Dolby starting by beating Pollock outside the off stump. 2 slips in place as Hannon Dolby moves towards us. Shaven-headed figure, testimonial this year for Warwickshire, of course, and this one cut away by Pollock, given a little bit of width, and he gets the first runs of the day via a boundary to backward point, just beating the diving fielder at backward point inside the circle. Running around the boundary, he was unable to put it off. So 4 without loss, Worcestershire, after 2 balls of the second over, put into bat here in this Metro Bank Cup Eliminator. And Dolby again bowls, and Pollock is forward to a much straighter delivery, driving it into the covers. Jake Lintott does the fielding, and there is no addition to the score. So next in for Worcestershire will be Rob Jones, Then Jake Libby. The middle order strengthened by the return of Adam Hose, who will come in at 5, and former Warwickshire player Ethan Brooks. Fairly inexperienced Tail after that, although Tom Taylor is the useful batsman of course. Hammond Derby bowls, Pollock drives on the up through extra cover, sweet shot, won't go all the way, but he'll pick up 2, and nice shot from Ed Pollock. Takes him on to 6.
We did problem.
6 without loss. Always a joy watching Ed Pollock bat, but it's generally a joy which is limited in terms of time. He scores quickly, doesn't often play very long innings, but if he does, this one left alone outside left, some bit of shape back into the left-hander, certainly carried on moving in that direction after he had passed the stumps. Michael Burge is moving away to his right to make the take. But decent from Hammond Derby so far, with the exception of that one wide-ish delivery which Pollock cut away for 4. Man out on the deep square leg boundary, which is often where Pollock holes out, as he did at Old Trafford the other day. Hammond Derby is in and bowls, and he's very watchfully pushing this one back up the pitch. End of the second over then. Worcestershire put into bat. They're 6 without loss. All of those 6 runs have been scored by Ed Pollock. But we've already seen enough carry, a little bit of movement in this pitch to suggest that batting in his first hour or so at least is not going to be a particularly straightforward exercise. And what I've noticed in this competition so far, Mike, is that with a ball of either end, it's the first 18 overs or 20 overs or so that the bowlers have got the most help.
It is. Now the first ball of a new over is pitched up from Barnard, and it's swept over the short fine leg fielder at Hammond Derby and away for 4. An ambitious stroke from Roderick. It is quite a short boundary on that side, or at least in that corner, and that was a very well executed, inventive stroke. So Roderick is away with 4. And it's 10 for no wicket in the third over. Off goes Barnard and pitches this right up to Roderick, who defends back at the pitch. 10 for none in over number 3 out of 50. The weather forecast good. I'm bound to say that last night we had an awful lot more rain than there seemed to have been in the forecast. I was outside and ended up wearing quite a lot of it. But the forecast today is good, and that certainly is how it looks here. 10 for none. Barnard runs away from us, and Roderick is reaching forward and guiding this between mid-on and mid-wicket, and getting quite a well-judged run as the tall New Zealander Michael Ray swoops in on that. A recent re-signing for Warwickshire. He played 2 championship games at the end of May. He's been sort of around the area, and they've picked him up again for the closing stage of the season as Warwickshire as they're almost inevitably soon to be. They have a rash of injuries among their bowlers. But Ray, a very handy pick-up. We'll see him in due course. This is driven back off an inside edge by Ed Barnard. There's been quite a bit of crossover between Warwickshire and Worcestershire and old boys playing against old counties.
Yeah. Glenn Turner would be one who a lot of people don't realise. Started his career in England here, with Billy Abadella having brought him back from New Zealand, but they didn't think much of him.
Off goes Barnard, and floats this outside the left-hander's off stump, and Pollock drives very firmly at it and misses.
And he made his way. Well, I don't even think the M5 was around then. Maybe it was just about. He made his way down to Worcester and didn't do too badly thereafter. But yeah, there've been one or two of them. Jim Coombs played for both of them.
Yes. And in recent years, they've obviously just within these two teams.
Yeah.
Adam Hose played for both. Ed Pollock, Ed Barnard. Yes. Yeah. Barnard bowls onto the leg stump, and Pollock, with something of a flourish, drives. This isn't quite middle, but he's going to get two wide of mid-wicket. The boundary looks a bit, and sometimes I wonder if it's the angle that we're at, looking slightly over long on with the bowling at this end. But it looks a bigger boundary that side. Anyway, they get two as Theo Wiley chases it, and it's the end of the third over. Worcestershire 13 without loss, with Roderick 5 and Pollock 8. I think hopefully we are now connected to listeners on the BBC Sport website, and we'll join listeners to 5 Sports Extra at times throughout the day, or sharing commentary between this and the Leicestershire-Hampshire game. But just to recap, I'll recap briefly the teams when we go through this over, as Hannon Bobby's about to start again, but he's the one change for Warwickshire in for Tassie.
Yeah, Worcestershire making 2 changes from the side that lost at Lancashire. They've rotated the seams pretty much throughout this competition in an attempt partly to keep them fit. Let's break off as Hannon Dolby hits Roderick on the pad with this one. There's no one. Partly to keep them fit and partly to manage their approach as well. They're so young, many of them. They're so inexperienced that they can't just be thrown into this competition. They're allowed to just get on with it, and just had to manage that, which they've done pretty well, I think. But it sees Jack Home, the most exciting of those young seamers, probably come back into the side today. Expense of Hisham Khan. And Dolby in outside the off stump. Little bit of away movement from Roderick, but left alone. And the other change sees Adam Hose returning from the 100, where he hasn't played a great deal. He comes back in to the middle order to replace. So Worcestershire full side is Roderick, Pollock, Jones, Libby, Hose, Brooks, Taylor, Singh, Hinley, Home and Darley. And Warwickshire's side, Barnard, Rhodes, Burgess the keeper, Benjamin, Kai Smith, Van Knight, Jake Lintop, Booth, Wiley, Hannon Dolby and Ray, the Kiwi that Mike was talking about just a moment ago. 13 without loss, Worcestershire in the sunshine in the 4th over. Gareth Roderick plays this one dead straight back at the pitch, and Ollie Hannon Dolby sticks out a foot, can't get a contact with it, doesn't matter because it hits the stumps at the non-striker's end, and there's no addition to the score.
You might notice, I've just had a tweet from Michael tweets me and says, did Worcestershire get the home dressing room, seeing as they are the home team?
I don't know.
We'll find out in the fullness of time.
I don't know. They use the dugouts anyway, of course, but I wouldn't have thought so. And Dolby in bowls, and Roderick drives off the back foot. No run, fielded in the
advantage. They would be, I suppose, within their rights to claim it.
Yeah, I suppose so. I was going to say that, probably a few of the Warwickshire players have got stuff lying around, but I think because the ground has been used for the 100 as well,
yes, that's true.
They've probably got everything locked away or in store somewhere, and the days where you left stuff lying around in the home dressing room from 1 month to the next are probably long gone.
Certainly.
So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I'll try and find out. Hannon Dolby in, bowls, Roderick drives beautifully. Straight down the ground, classic Gareth Roderick. He plays that shot as well as anybody. A perfect straight drive just on the onside of the stumps at the non-striker's end. Holds his shape. That comes through very straight. And a really pleasing hit shot from Gareth Roderick. His second boundary takes the score into 17 without loss.
Early impression, Frank, that for a pitch that we think has been used last night, I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
Yeah, it is.
The ball is coming onto the back.
Yeah, I agree. Good carry as well. I'll just add a little bit to that after this delivery from Howard bowls, and Roderick is forward to one that again shaped away from a little bit, pushes up to mid-off. There's no run, end of the over, 4 gone, 17 without loss. I did go for a little walk out there this morning and had a look at the pitch and bumped into Jake Liddy, the Worcestershire captain, who said he thought it was a good surface, and said it's been used for one game in this competition, he thinks, and one T20.
Yeah.
But you know,
it wasn't overly used last night.
No, exactly, and good pitches. Edgbaston tend to last, I would say, for a 4-day game, so there's no reason why we shouldn't think this will be good. It's only really the second 4-day cricket, and as you say, it looks a decent surface.
Barnard starts the 5th over and gives a little bit of width here to Pollock, who drives and manages to hit Zen Malik in the covers. Had he got it through there, he's going to get 4 because there's nobody out patrolling that boundary, and it's quite a short boundary anyway. Dangled the tempter there outside the off stump. Barnard, who has 14 wickets in the competition to date, as well as 390 odd. Off he goes with 2 slips waiting, and again floats this up wide of off stump, full for driving, and Pollock does drive, but picks out mid-off this time. The one thing that you can be sure with Pollock is that he will go for shots in all situations.
No
he will drive firmly at it.
Yeah, I don't think he... Well, he can't play any other way.
Nope.
He's tried to kind of change his game a little bit, and it doesn't work. And I think he's come around to the world thinking that the best thing to do is just to play instinctively.
He brings this one back, Barnard, and Pollock defends at the pitch. They've taken the second slip out and moved Benjamin across to mid-wicket. But Burgess is standing in such a position that he's keeping wicket, but he's almost standing where first slip is. Not directly behind the stumps at all. So the angle that Barnard is bowling, right arm over the wicket to the left-hander, he's sort of in line with that, which allows the slip to go a bit wider, and Pollock but they're trying to be a bit creative. Rather than have 2 slips there, covering that angle, so allows you to have a wicket. This Pollock for sure will drive anything that's offered outside off stump one. Wide now, really wide on our bowls. This is not quite so wide of the off stump, and Pollock hits it firmly out of the middle of the bat up to Ray at mid-off. This has got an interesting over. Although there haven't been any runs scored, he's probing that line, getting Pollock driving. And also inside the circle of backward point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and fine leg. The deep square leg out on the rope and 3rd man. Quite a short 3rd man boundary. 17 for none. Barnard bowls, and it's a little bit shorter of length. And Pollock defends from the crease. Barnard's second maiden in the early stages. And it's 17 for none in 5, with Roderick 9 and Pollock 8 for the Worcestershire team that were asked to bat when Ed Barnard won the toss at 10:30 this morning. But if there is any moisture around, it hasn't led to any great movement. Barnard nipped a couple around in the first over. A pretty good pitch to bat on.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, these white balls, one at either end in this competition, and they do a little bit. First few overs, batting tends to get easier later on, and in the middle of the innings, whether they're pushing this first ball of the new over, and square on the offside, and that's why I think if you look, I mean, I have no scientific backup to this statement, because I haven't got all the facts and figures in front of me, but there have been a lot of games, certainly quite a few involving Worcestershire and quite a few others as well I've observed, where teams have recovered quite well after pretty torrid starts, and I think that tells its own tale. And Dolby in bowls, Roderick is forward again, pushing up to mid-off. He has a little quirk, Gareth Roderick, where he sends back his partner, and probably as he says no as well, he just holds the bat up like a sort of like a lollipop lady or man on the road, just to use it as a kind of extra signifier to his partner that he isn't going to go for a run, and he did it just then. We'll see him do that quite often if he bats for any length of time. He's on 9, Pollock is 8, no extras. And Dolby. That's a lovely shot from Gareth Roderick. His third boundary, just on leg stump, wasn't a half volley, and he's just clipped it, bottom-handed punch really over mid-wicket. Big gap up there, and that one races away for 4 to used to be called the Raglan Stand. Is it still called the Raglan Stand? I think it is. Good knowledge, man. Good knowledge of the ground. Long time since dredged that from the memory. Where it came from. Anyway, Roderick goes to 13. It's 21 without loss. 3 boundaries for him. The best of them a beautiful straight drive. And the prompted a change. Michael Bird has got the helmet on now. He's going to stand up to the stumps to Hammond Dolby, which means that the one slip fielder on the roads will be hard pushed to see any contact with the bat with the keeper standing up. And that's a nice take from Burgess off the next ball, as Hammond Dolby's well, sort of bowler that keepers would often stand up to, but he's not the slowest. Hammond Dolby by any means, and Burgess will have to be fleet of foot if he errs down the leg side.
He's done quite a lot in the championship this year, and last with Hammond Dolby and Rushworth, who I gather is not too far away from being fit again.
Similar sort of pass, puts a bit of pressure. He gets it like that. Roderick drives this one very nicely, very sweetly, but straight up to mid-on. Smith is the forward on that. Or is it Booth?
It's Booth in the centre. The Raglan Stand you mentioned with next area points.
और इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 283 रनों पर पहुंच चुका है। 4 विकेट के नुकसान पर 19.1 ओवर के बाद। देखने वाली बात होती है कि कितना रन यहाँ से बन सकता है। बचे हुए 5 गेंदों का खेल शेष बचा हुआ है अभी तक। 283 रन हो चुके हैं, 4 विकेट का नुकसान 19.1 ओवर के बाद। अब रिंकू सिंह बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं और हार्दिक पांड्या के हाथ में स्ट्राइक है। हार्दिक पांड्या बचे हुए 5 गेंदों में यहाँ से 17 रन बना सकते हैं। अगर 17 रन बनेगा तो यहाँ से 300 रनों तक पहुँच सकती है टीम इंडिया।
without loss, gone on quite nicely.
देखने वाली बात होगी और इसी के साथ देखते ही रहिए। 16 गेंदों में 41 रन की पारी खेल चुके हैं हार्दिक पांड्या वहीं को जा और यहाँ पे इसे उठा के खेल दिया है 6 रनों के लिए। हार्दिक पांड्या ने काफी खूबसूरती के साथ इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर जा पहुंचा है 289 रनों पर 19.2 ओवर के बाद यहाँ T20 यहाँ देखिए ओडिया जितना रन T20 में बन रहा है 14.95 का करंट रन रेट चल रहा है। अगर बात करें बल्लेबाजी की तो वहीं संजू सैमसन ने काफी अच्छी बल्लेबाजी की, मात्र 45 गेंदों में 111 रन की पारी खेलकर वापस गए। और यहाँ पे रिंकू सिंह और फिर से बॉल हवा में। देखने वाली बात हार्दिक पांड्या क्या यहाँ अपना 50 पूरा करते हैं? जी नहीं, यहाँ पे हार्दिक पांड्या को जाना होगा और यहाँ पे विकेट गिर चुका है कैच आउट के रूप में। अब देखते हैं आने वाले बल्लेबाज देखते हैं कौन है क्या यहाँ पे। सुंदर होंगे आने वाले बल्लेबाज शायद। क्या 3 गेंदों में 11 रन काफी अच्छी टीम इंडिया का फुर्तीला जोश नजर आ रहा है। 100% विनिंग चांस दिखाई दे रहा है। तंजीद हसन और नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी आए हैं गेम बल्लेबाजी करने के लिए। नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी के हाथ में 3 गेंदों के लिए स्ट्राइक रहेगा। क्या 3 गेंदों में वो 2 छक्के लगाने में कामयाब होते हैं या नहीं, देखने वाली बात। और बॉल हवा में है, क्या हो सकता है। और यहाँ पे नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी को भी जाना होगा। लगातार 2 बॉल पर 2 विकेट लेने वाले गेंदबाज बन चुके हैं साकिब हसन तंजीद हसन साकिब बन चुके हैं। 2 बॉलों पर 2 विकेट लेने वाले। अब देखने वाली बात होगी कौन आते हैं बल्लेबाजी करने के लिए। रन तो यहाँ से 289 सुंदर को बजा गया हैट्रिक बॉल है। देखते हैं क्या यहाँ से हैट्रिक विकेट लेने में कामयाब रहते हैं या नहीं रहते हैं। देखने वाली बात होगी कि यहाँ से हैट्रिक लेने में कामयाब रहते हैं या नहीं। फिर से बॉल लेकर तैयार। देखने वाली बात यहाँ 289 रन। बॉल फिर से हवा में है और यहाँ पे सिंगल ले लिया है सुंदर ने। इसी के साथ 290 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है स्कोर। 19.5 ओवर के बाद 290 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है स्कोर। बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर धीरे धीरे 290 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। 19.5 ओवर के बाद देखने वाली बात यहाँ अभी तक तंजीद हसन साकिब ने 3 विकेट ले लिया है। 3.5 ओवर के बाद 59 रन खर्च किए हैं। अंतिम बॉल में देखते हैं क्या यहाँ से छक्के लगा सकते हैं रिंकू सिंह जी। यहाँ देखने वाली बात होगी बॉल लेकर तैयार है और वहाँ पे वाइड बॉल डाल दिए हैं। वाइड बॉल डाल दिए। क्या यहाँ से रिंकू सिंह छक्के लगाने में कामयाब होते हैं या नहीं। देखने वाली बात होगी कि बल्लेबाजी कैसा किया जा सकता है। और बॉल हवा में है। देखने वाली बात 291 रनों पर 6 विकेट के साथ और यहाँ पे छक्का लगा दिया है रिंकू सिंह ने। इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 297 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। 297 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। 20.3 रनों से पीछे रह चुके हैं। 300 रन ओडिया जितना रन T20 में बना है। रिंकू सिंह ने T20 को ओडिया बना दिया है। यहाँ पे 4 गेंदों में 8 रन की पारी खेल कर लौट रहे हैं रिंकू सिंह।
rated him as a bowler, particularly in the white ball game. Very skillful bowler, changes his pace nicely, can get a little bit of movement in the air and off the pitch, and
He's played a lot of
testing.
He played a lot of, well, he's played in this competition last season. He played all that the
T20s. I think that's probably the one area that he would like to. Do a bit more involved in. Handleby's in. Ball short to Pollock, who swivels round and pulls that for 4 behind square on the leg side. That's the
Spinning break हो चुका है.
Just get it in there. He sometimes gets the upper body sort of falling back and lifts that one in the air, but on that occasion kept his weight sort of forward and over his front foot and swiveled round, pulling pull shot rather than a hook.
He hasn't had much margin for error so far, Helen Dolby. If he's gone slightly to the leg side, they've picked him off the runs. It's 4 boundaries now.
And again now ball. So, that's a good reply, because he's angled that one across Pollock and got it just exactly in the right place, and through it goes. To wicketkeeper Burgess.
I think, bringing news, dressing room news, not news from the dressing room, but news of the dressing room.
Yeah, okay.
I am advised that they did not swap dressing rooms. So, yes, there's your answer.
I suppose if you cede home advantage, does that mean that you aren't really the home side anymore? I don't know. And there'll be again balls, and Pollock is beaten outside the off stump.
Yes, it's a fairly weak point. I think that both rooms here, from what I can gather, are fairly well appointed. So I wouldn't worry. It's not like a cold showers.
No, exactly.
That's not the job.
Not like you're playing on a club ground or something.
No. Or certain football managers used to have that as a tactic, didn't they? With cold showers or urn of cold tea.
Absolutely. With the other considerations, I suppose, is Handleby's in and bowls and Pollock is forward, pushing out on the offside. No one. You'd say, if it were a club game, who's providing?
Yes.
Those sort of factors.
I think the tea has become a little bit. It's not disappeared, but it's not as common as it once was.
No, indeed. No.
Phil Britt's going to come in and join you, by the way.
Okay, that's fine.
For the next little while.
And then you'll be back in before your next news bulletin. I expect 26 without loss then. Mike Taylor of BBC Radio WN News out of the seat alongside them. And Dolby in beats Pollock again outside the off stump with a good one. Phil Britt moves in to take Mike's place, and I'm Frank Watson from BBC Hereford and Worcester. And Phil, I've heard you a few times, but I think it's the first time we've ever worked together.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, good morning. Morning, everybody. It's considerably better here now than it was
last night. Indeed, yes. Well, I was doing the England Lions game at Worcester, and that session was rained off as well. And I think it was pretty much the same rain that afflicted the 100 here last night. Helen Dolby bowls again, and Pollock's going to get 4 more here. Just getting a bat on it down the leg side. Just a little tickle really, but it's flown away down to the boundary, and runs just beginning to come with a little bit of fluency, particularly off the bowling of Ollie Handleby, who's now conceded 23 from his 4 overs. Meanwhile, Ed Barnard has been parsimonious in the extreme, 4 overs, 3 maidens, no wicket for 7. But Worcestershire will be fairly happy with their start. 7 overs put into that 30. Without loss.
Yeah, they've had that big shout in his opening over, caught behind Roderick, but turned down. But he's kept a very good line. Oliver Handel. With moments he strayed or just dropped a little short. And it's played, as we all know here at Edgbaston, how he does in the past. He's picked him up. Here's Barnard coming in from the William end down the leg side, and the signal was the first extra of the game. Signal wide, pitched and moved away, even wider. So 31 for no wicket after exactly 8 overs. Yes, there was a good crowd in last night, and full credit to them. How many people actually stayed on for what in the end was a bit of a thrash.
Yes, I watched it actually.
This one was driven back and by Fields and Roderick up his own bowling.
I don't watch a huge amount of the 100, and I can't profess to being a fan, but I'm not going to get involved in any of the many, often quite acrimonious debates about it. The one thing I would say is that I thought it was pretty unsavoury in terms of cricket when it eventually took place, because basically you reduce it to 40 balls every bat. Batsman just trying to hit every ball for 6, and it was pretty ugly stuff to watch, I thought.
It was a sample of the 10. This one is in as fetched from right outside the off, very wide outside the off stump, fetched round to deep square leg by Roderick for a single. Gosh, that one he pulled back a long way, and the angle he got it to
he does,
as well.
He can do that. Kind of premeditated, and I suppose if you're going to do it, once you've got down into that position, you've got to go with it, and he did. But yeah, going back to that last night, every batsman basically came out every ball for 6. Lots of catches in the deep, and they didn't get hold of it. It was all just a bit ugly, I thought, to be fair. But I could understand why they had to have a game of some kind.
Keeper. Yeah, well, it was from the Phoenix point of view, it was important.
Yeah.
Because they obviously now qualified for the semi-finals at the Oval tomorrow. Possibility of getting through to finals day.
Yeah, it was important for the crowd who'd around, paid them money. I think obviously you've got to try and get a game, and I admire that. But I just thought purely from a cricket point of view, it didn't please me.
Ian bowls. This is pulled away in the air. One bounce by pick from Pollock, and one bounce through mid-wicket. But he really was a spectator as the ball was picked up, and he hadn't got far to move, but it was past him. Through him, beautifully picked up by Pollock. He moves on to 20, and the total goes to 36 for no wicket. If you get Ed Pollock in the right mood, he can really just
I got 180 in the first game in this competition at New Road against Middlesex off 138 balls. If he bats for an hour, I always think he will have some influence on the game.
Barnard in again from bowls, and this is Fuller and through wrong this time, and a good tumbling stop in the end from Bird was behind the stumps. Barnard's hands go to his head as if he's thinking, how did he not get an inside edge on that one? But he's another dot ball. He always reminds me of the batsman we used to have here, Neil Carter, who was fundamentally a bowler, but used to open the batting. And Ed would come off when he was here, perhaps 1 in 4 or 5, which was the same as Neil.
Still the same.
Bowls, that's big. He was going to shout for every I think got inside edge onto that, into his pads, and saved him. Dot ball for the end of the over. 36, 6 off the over. We've now had 9 overs, and usually from Barnard, that wasn't the maiden. He's had 3 so far, but his 5th over.
Yeah, 36 without loss off 9. Yeah, I think probably for most of the people watching and listening to us are Worcestershire fans, and in both camps they know Ed Pollock pretty well. Anybody who's seen him playing in the Birmingham League for Barnt Green will know him pretty well. I can remember a game when I was coaching the opposition at Barnt Green, Birmingham League game a few years ago, and we lost 8 balls in the first hour as Ed just got stuck into decent bowling. Wasn't the biggest boundary.
Yeah, in fairness, it's not difficult to lose at Barnt Green.
But he was just on fire that morning, and he can do it. He does often hold out down to backward square. I'd still say it's about 1 in 4, 1 in 5. But even in a championship game, on the odd occasion when he gets a go at the order, if he comes off, probably tend to win the game. First change in the bowling as Kiwi Michael Ray comes into the attack at the City end.
He never played a championship game for Yorkshire. He only ever played white ball cricket.
Yeah, he hasn't played many for Worcestershire, but I can remember a couple where he got 100 at Leicester. I think got 100 at Merchant Taylor's going Middlesex a couple of years ago. A dodgy pitch, it just transformed the game, and chasing a fairly low total, Worcestershire skated home. Ray again, single to Roderick off his first ball. He's in, and he bowls wide outside Western. Pollock throws everything at that one. It's another strong area for him. If he makes contact with that, he's going to fly through backward point somewhere. Didn't on this occasion. Gareth Roderick just maybe just coming down and saying, have a little look at this guy first. I won't play against him. I don't think before.
I don't think he will have done it.
37 without loss.
और इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर मात्र एक गेंद में 1 विकेट ले लिया है। यहाँ मयंक यादव ने काफ़ी अच्छी विकेट नाजिर हुसैन सांटो को चलता किया है। देखने वाली बात होगी कब खुद सिम कप
into the covers.
To be honest, when he came, Michael, I don't think a lot of people had heard. He'd got a fairly good domestic record in New Zealand, but not too sure he played over here too much before.
स्वयं कप्तान आए हैं बल्लेबाजी के लिए। परवेज हुसैन को बोल्ड कर दिया है मयंक यादव ने। परवेज हुसैन को बोल्ड कर दिया मयंक यादव ने। फिर से अगली ओवर पर सिंगल लेकर यहाँ पे नाजिर हुसैन सांटो ने जो है 0-0 का चल रहा है। यहाँ ट्रिपल आर वाला जो सीन चल रहा है वो 15.1
maybe just did a little bit in the air after it passed the batsman and they go through for a ball. But Nathan Smith, who's now gone back with a serious injury, torn a hamstring.
और यहाँ पे देखने वाली बात है काफी पहाड़ जैसा स्कोर खड़ा कर दिया टीम इंडिया ने।
In the T20 game.
That's right.
So he's gone back, and we sadly won't see him again this year. He's been pushed away by Roderick on the inside. He's been picked for New Zealand A in Bangladesh towards the end of September, hoping, I think, to be fit for that. But not many people have heard of him.
या कुछ कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे विकेट जो है मिला है जिसके चलते यहाँ पे
Wellington as they win the Plunket Shield last year, so we did know a bit about him, but not a lot of people had seen him, and what an impact he had. Started very well here, of course, in the first championship game. Ray bowls, Roderick taken on the pad, and he's got him. Big shout for LBW, played round that a little bit. I thought he looked a fair way forward, but big shout from Michael Ray, and umpire Peter Hartley deciding, yeah, that was straight, that was not too high, and Gareth Roderick is the first man out with the score on 38, and a good bowling change from Ed Garnard. Ray makes the breakthrough. Gareth Roderick gone for 16 and faced 32 deliveries.
और इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 5 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है। 0.4 बॉल पर मात्र यहाँ चौवा लगा, 4 रन लगाकर तंजीन हसन साकिब चल कर रहे हैं गेंदबाज। मयंक यादव गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं, वहीं पर तंजीद हसन बल्लेबाजी करने के लिए आए हैं। नाजिर हुसैन सांटो दूसरी ओर बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं, जिसके चलते अभी तक स्कोर जो है बढ़ता हुआ है, स्कोर जहाँ पहुंचा है 5 रनों पर। मात्र जीत के लिए चाहिए 293 रन 115 बॉल में। बांग्लादेश को हालांकि काफी मुश्किल करनी पड़ेगी और किस तरह विकेट गिरता है देखने वाली बात है। अब मात्र अंतिम बॉल फेंकना बाकी है, इस ओवर के अंतिम बॉल।
Yeah, he did. And he did then go to Trent Bridge in the second game and make a 50 in that game.
That's right.
And over the course of his time,
यहाँ पे पहले ही बॉल पर बोल्ड कर दिया है परवेज।
Impressive generally. He was good with the ball, good in the field.
100% इंडिया विनिंग चांस दिखा रहा है। वही तंजीद हसन 4 बॉल पर 4 रन बनाकर खेल रहे हैं। नाजिर हुसैन सांटो जो कि अच्छी बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं, कप्तानी कर रहे हैं, अच्छी कप्तानी कर रहे हैं। एक गेंदों में 1 रन बनाकर खेल रहे हैं। देखने वाली बात होगी कितना देर टिके रहते हैं और कितना दूर तक अपनी टीम को ले जाने में सक्षम रहते हैं। यहाँ पे रिक्वायर्ड रन रेट जो धीरे धीरे बढ़ता हुआ जा रहा है, शुरू से ही 15 का रिक्वायर्ड रन रेट बन हो चुका है। मानसिक दबाव में बांग्लादेशी टीम आ चुकी है, मानसिक दबाव में, जो कि वर्तमान में उसको आगे बढ़ने के लिए हल्का थोड़ा सा भी नहीं दिखाई दे रहा होगा। दबाव में दबाव के चलते यहाँ पर काफी दबाव के चलते यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं बॉलर रुका हुआ है। अब हार्दिक पांड्या को दिया गया है, कप्तान के द्वारा हार्दिक पांड्या को बॉल थमाई गई है। हार्दिक पांड्या आए हैं, देखने वाली बात होगी कि हार्दिक पांड्या किस तरह गेंदबाजी करते हैं। हालांकि बल्लेबाजी कर गए हैं, काफ़ी अच्छी बल्लेबाजी कर गए हैं।
Nicely played in the end, as you say.
New batsman is Rob Jones, by the way, right-handed bat, who's settled in here pretty well.
Yeah, struggled a little bit for form in this competition. Well, for form this season generally.
और देखिए यहाँ फर्स्ट बाउंसर आया वाइड के रूप में।
No hundreds yet, but he's a good player.
Ball out into him, and this one goes past the outside edge of the bat and through to Burgess.
I think he's a good player, and I think we all know that. He made 100 in the White Ball Cup in this cup when he was on loan last year at Northampton for Worcestershire, and he's made great impact in the dressing room and very popular. Lovely chap.
पहला बाउंसर आया है वाइड के रूप में।
A bit of consistent form right in the middle.
And there's the slip. Rhodes has come back into slip with Carlisle bowls, and that's caught the outside edge, and that will be the second wicket. No doubt about that one. It's pushed forward to it, didn't get right to the pitch, and Jones goes without scoring. So we're just really backing up what you're saying there, a little bit of inconsistency, and that's a big wicket for Warwickshire. And so it's suddenly 38 for no wicket doesn't look quite so good.
बढ़ता हुआ रन रेट जो है आगे की ओर जाते हुए धीरे धीरे बढ़ता हुआ करंट रन रेट जो है वो 15.45 का हो चुका है। 1.1 ओवर का खेल अभी तक हो चुका है 7 रनों के साथ। 1.1 ओवर का खेल हो चुका है 7 रनों के साथ। इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर धीरे धीरे अब देखने वाली बात होगी कि कब तक यहाँ पे विकेट बचा कर रखती है बांग्लादेशी टीम। पिछले ओवर में यहाँ पर विकेट मिला था मयंक यादव को। इस बार अभी तक हार्दिक पांड्या 2 गेंदें कर चुके हैं। हार्दिक पांड्या 2 गेंदें कर चुके हैं। देखने वाले अभी तक एक भी रन खर्च नहीं किए हैं। काफ़ी अच्छी बल्ले गेंदबाजी करते हैं हार्दिक पांड्या भी काफ़ी अच्छी गेंदबाजी करते हैं। अब देखने वाली बात होगी कि यहाँ से कितना रन तक विकेट बचा कर रखते हैं। रिक्वायर्ड करंट रन रेट जो है 4.67 का चल रहा है। बांग्लादेश को ज़रूरत रनों की चाहिए, 287 रनों की ज़रूरत है। अब यहाँ से रन बढ़ते हुए तंजीद हसन साकिब ने फिर से एक चौका लगाया हार्दिक पांड्या को। हार्दिक पांड्या ने मात्र 4 गेंदों में अभी तक 6 रन खर्च किए हैं, जो 0 विकेट लिए हैं। वहीं पर देखने वाली बात होगी कि जब तक यहाँ पे नाजिर हुसैन सांटो टिके रहते हैं, डटे रहते हैं, लड़ते रहते हैं। अगर लड़ते रहेंगे तो यहाँ से कुछ ना कुछ तो हासिल करके जाएंगे। हल्ले ही मैच हार जाए या जीत जाए। काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रहेगा, काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रहेगा कि कितना रन
the bowler currently, the two most dominant batsmen in this competition. I think in the whole country, certainly in these two sides, they are skippers. And well, Libby doesn't have the advantage of being a regular bowler. He has got 1 wicket in this competition this year when he brought himself on just for a quick change and picked 1 up. But he's got a lot of runs. And he waits now. He's going ahead. Moves.
और इसी के साथ 19 रनों पर जहाँ पहुँचा है स्कोर। हार्दिक पांड्या ने 1 ओवर में 14 रन खर्च किए। यहीं पर तंजीद हसन साकिब ने यहाँ पर अच्छी बल्लेबाजी करके अपनी सूझबूझ भरी नीतियों को सामने में रखा है, जिसके चलते यहाँ पर अभी तक देख सकते हैं रनों का स्कोर बढ़ता हुआ। 2 ओवर भारत का भी इसी तरह से 23 पर गिरा था पहला विकेट, जिसके चलते
This is going to be Libby off the mark with just turning it round to backward square leg. Just a single. End of another good over from Ed Barnard. It's 40 for 2 at the end of the 11th over.
Yeah, 40 for 2.
अब देखने वाली बात है तीसरा ओवर फिर से लेकर मयंक यादव आए हैं। मयंक यादव को क्या करते हैं देखने वाली बात होती है। क्या यहाँ से विकेट के लिए जाते हैं मयंक यादव, और यहाँ पर मयंक यादव को छक्का लग चुका है, जिसके चलते मयंक यादव ने
Phil Quick was just saying, look at a decent start at 38 without loss in the 10th. Suddenly he swung the other way, and Barnard's boys in the ascendancy, and there's just a little bit of work to do now. Libby, however, the ideal man, one would have thought, in these conditions, to just come in and steady the ship, and he'll be hoping that Ed Pollock, who won't change the way he plays, will continue to try to dominate. Pollock, however, is the non-striker as Michael Ray begins a new over. He's in now and bowls and beats Libby outside the off stump. Does, however, having Libby in moving that away for last minute, I think on that occasion he did actually play at the ball. And got a bit of bounce there, Michael Ray, a little bit of carry, and probably what did Libby just went over the shoulder of the bat through to Burgess. So good stuff from Michael Ray since he's been brought into the attack. 40 for 2 in the sunshine at Edgbaston. This eliminator Ambo Cup. Already on the back foot to the snaps and pushes up to mid-on.
So injury-wise, Smith's obviously gone back. of the big
पीटर इंजर्ड होने के बाद देखिए यहाँ पर खेल जो है रुका गया है। अब देखने वाली बात होती है कि क्या नाज़िर हुसैन संटो बैटिंग कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं। नाज़िर हुसैन संटो को थोड़ी तकलीफ हुई है। इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर जहाँ पहुँचा है 27 रनों पर 2.2 ओवर के बाद 1 विकेट का नुकसान पर नाज़िर हुसैन संटो जो कि खुद कप्तान है वही दूसरी ओर
just off the top of my head. Kashi Valley. Side strain. Adam Finch, injured knee. Matthew Waite, side strain. Brett D'Oliveira, shoulder injury. Ben Gibbon, stress fracture. Smith's gone home, as we said. Pollock drives this one up to mid-off. Yadvinder Singh, stress fracture. It's just an absolute extraordinary. Having said that, Joe Leach, knee injury, of course. We're hoping that for the Kent game next week in the Championship, Finch and Leach and Kashi Valley and Brett D'Oliveira may all be back, but there'll be a certain amount of risk involved in playing some of them.
Yeah.
There's Ray again, he's into Pollock and he's on the back foot playing defensively out on the offside. To his credit, Michael Ray has been not only picked up a wicket, he's also been very tidy here, and he's shut Pollock down to some extent as well. So yeah, I mean, it really, I've never known an injury crisis like it. I really haven't, and it means that this team in this competition has been cobbled together. I likened it the other day. For people of a certain age will get the analogy, I hope. Just break off his Ray bowls, and Pollock slogs this away on the leg side. Not a very pleasing shot to the eye, but it brings in 4 runs, just sort of whacked across his front pad. Ray just erring in line. 49 for 2 then at the end of the 12th. I likened it to the Manchester United after the Munich air crash when Matt Busby had to, well, it wasn't even Matt Busby, was it? It was his assistant.
और इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 29 रनों पर जहाँ पहुँचा है 2.5 ओवर के बाद 1 विकेट के नुकसान पर। करंट रन रेट 10.24 का चल रहा है।
Saka and from minor counties cricket and from, in Jack Holmes' case, from school with 4 or 5 senior players, and they've managed to do pretty well in this competition, which is why it's been so much fun. But they're hoping for the Red Bull competition next week, which remains a massive priority to try and stay in Division 1, to have a few back.
Barnard continuing into this one beats, it goes past the outside edge of Libby's bat, I think. Pulled the bat inside the line. The black ball actually get to Burgess behind the stumps. It bounced in front of him, and there was no carry on that delivery.
2 of those injured players that I mentioned have both, with the bat, have performed brilliantly on this ground this year. Because Kashif got injured in either innings, and then Matthew Waite in 34 off the last over.
Loss of 1 wicket, progress 2.5 over. And Tanzeen Hassan Saqib and Nadir Hussain Santo are playing facing the Mayank Yadav. Mankada is doing the well and 1.5 over.
As
And
it inevitably will in those circumstances, is
only spend the 18 runs and take a 1 wicket.
you imagine the mood in either dressing room, don't you, immediately after an over like that? And
I thought as well that the records with Smith out of the attack bowled beautifully to actually win that game as well. They were a bowler down, and they wanted to, they've got, I think, 5 bowlers.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely.
This one is played away by Libby past a diving point. I always worry when they go down that one of them's going to get up with an injury. It does seem to be an awful lot of injuries in the game of cricket.
I think the worry, Phil, at Worcester has been the number of soft tissue injuries there have been. You know, if people, I mean, stress fractures are part of being a fast bowler, I suppose, or in many cases anyway, but side strains.
You're feeling down, let the time fly away. So many times I've been here before, now I'm feeling alright. No need to try, just relax and take a deep breath. Look inside to try and find a way out, and grab it, that's your way out.
और इसी के साथ दूसरा विकेट यहाँ खो दिया है। तंजीद हसन के रूप में दूसरा विकेट खो दिया। लिटन कुमार दास आए हैं। और वाइड बॉल अब देखिए 36 रन हो चुके हैं 2 विकेट के नुकसान प्रति 1 ओवर के बाद। सुंदर आए गेंदबाजी कर रहे।
In the 13th over. That was a lovely shot.
37 रन हो चुके हैं 3.3 ओवर के बाद 2 विकेट के नुकसान पर सुंदर गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं।
That was much better.
Let's pull Pollock back over the wicket. Changing the line back to. gets out into the offside and there's no run.
And I hope he'll forgive me. I hope if he listens back. I mean, we're pretty good
और
friends,
स्कोर जा
and
पहुंचा है.
he knows I'm a massive supporter. I love the way that he plays when it goes well. None of us like it when it doesn't.
स्कोर जा पहुंचा है
he does
38 रनों पर
occasionally
3.5 ओवर
please
के
the
बाद.
eye with a flashing drive or a really well executed shot. Also, just occasionally.
38 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है स्कोर. और 39 रन हो चुके हैं 4 ओवर के समाप्ति के बाद. 39 रन हो चुके हैं. अब मात्र 16 ओवर का खेल बचा हुआ है और 39 रन ही बना पाई है अभी तक 4 ओवर में, जबकि रिकॉर्ड रन रेट 16.9 पर चल रहा है. करंट रन रेट जो है काफी नीचे चल रहे हैं. करंट रेट से करंट रन से काफी नीचे चल रहे हैं. बांग्लादेशी टीम लेटन कुमार दास आए हैं गेंद.
Well, Worcestershire supporters who are watching this have seen the ball. They've been through it with Ed over the last 3 or 4 years, and exactly that form, as you say. And just think, why did he do that? But I think that is probably Ed's flaw, is that he can't.
लेटन कुमार दास जो कि आए हैं,
merit, shall we say. Once he gets into the zone and into the mood, then almost everything's got to go. If he could
बल्लेबाजी करने के लिए.
what a player he could be. Michael Ray Bowles, short to Libby, who swivels round on this and plays a nicely controlled hook shot. Not really trying to whack it, just making sure he kept it down. Goes.
और यहाँ पे 43 रन हो चुके हैं. ये प्रोग्रेस बाय 4.1 over and loss of 2 wicket. This Kumar Reddy are coming on bowling lineup.
If he can crack one like this for another half an hour or so.
कुमार रेड्डी जो कि गेंदबाजी करने के लिए आए हैं वहीं पर लिटन दास
really delivered. Ray in bowls, and he nearly does get out. Just feeling for this. Good bowling again from the key.
अब मात्र 95.
A bit of extra bounce, and Burgess, who's probably almost a pitch length back, taking that above waist height. Good from Michael Ray.
Not a lot of foot in the back.
Just stuck at it. Most he could have hoped for was a run down to third man.
I think I'm right in saying he hasn't really
Santa
made
जो कि अच्छी की वो
moving down the end front. I don't think he's made a significant score against Yorkshire. Maybe it's got
I think you might be right. Maybe today. It's another one fantastic piece of fielding out on the leg side boundary by Malik, running to his right. It was travelling that ball. It was one of those where you could easily see the fielder diving over it, or even getting a hand on it and not holding on to it, and it goes over the rope. Not only did he get a hand on it, he kept it in his hand. He tumbled over, jumped to his feet, got the throw back in. Super bit of work.
It is problem. Roach doctor.
और अभी तक 43 रन हो चुके हैं.
2 for 2.
देखने वाली बात होती है कि कितना रन बनाने में यहाँ पे कामयाब रहते हैं.
Ray to Libby. Just get the inside edge on this one.
Yasun, Penguin.
Hands on heads, strangled appeal, and they realised.
जिसके चलते अभी तक यहाँ पे
What a damn. Penguin, Penguin.
He'd hit it, puts up a single.
I think that inside edge saved him.
Yeah, absolutely.
और इसी के साथ बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर 51 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है. नाजिर हुसैन सांटो और लिटन दास जो कि दोनों बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं वर्तमान में, अभी तक बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं. और वहाँ पे नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी जो कि मात्र 4 गेंदों में 12 रन खर्च कर चुके हैं. 4 गेंद मात्र 4 बॉल किए और 12 रन खर्च कर चुके हैं.
That sort of pace to the back, you've got to go and check and know how difficult it is, and you kind of think, oh, shall I go for this or not? But that was a really was.
Well, I tell you what, for like 20 years.
देखने वाली बात क्या है यहाँ से नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी. नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी
plays this one off the back foot, out on the offside, and there's no one. Bob Willis wouldn't have tried stopping that, I don't think. He might have tried to stick a foot on it, but I can't imagine that David Brown or Rudy Webster would have been chasing around after that one.
Would you really want your fast bowler, who's then going to have a side strain, or
that's how the game's changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got to do it, haven't they?
They've got to do it. I just wonder whether those guys, the 2 runs, whatever was worth it.
That's another beauty from Ray. Can't believe it. It sort of
और 59 रनों पर जा पहुंचा है स्कोर 5 ओवर के बाद। जिस कुमार रेड्डी ने 1 ओवर में 20 रन खर्च किए हैं, वहीं पर लिटन कुमार दास ने उनके क्लास लिए चौके के द्वारा और बढ़ता हुआ स्कोर जा पहुंचा है 59 रनों पर। हालांकि कब तक चलेगा, कितनी देर तक चलेगा? 5 ओवर में मात्र 55 रन बने हैं।
দেখুন ভিলেন হয়তো আপনার সস্তা
stood up a couple of times at New Road.
5 ओवर में मात्र 55 रन बने हैं।
Just waved to the dressing room for a stud spanner. But the umpire has now said, well, you don't need to get somebody on that. I've got one. Pollock is sitting down.
Yes, penguin, go on that time. Penguin.
So there we go. There's going to be a change of bowling. Ed Barnard is coming out of the attack and he's going to be replaced by Booth at the pavilion end.
Michael Booth. So Warwickshire got the 4 seamers on the team today. Plus they've got Will Rhodes as a 5th. Spin relying on Jake Winters. Testimony not on the side today. There's Booth. Comes in to bowl his first ball to Libby, and it's right on the mark, and Libby defends it stoutly back. So back on a much bigger field today. We've been at rugby school for the last 3 days. And in each case, Warwickshire batted first, and I have to say, I think they prefer that. They've been beaten twice and they got very close against Surrey to losing that match as well as this one is
और यहाँ पे कैच आउट हो चुके हैं सांटो और स्नोइंग आए गेंदबाजी करने के लिए। और यहाँ पे चलता क्या है नाजिर हुसैन सांटो को कैच आउट, 3रा विकेट खो दिए हैं।
The ball to be stopped in the first place, but so Libby picks up, I think, his first boundary. He goes on to 9, total goes to 57 for 2. As Booth is in again and bowls, and Libby defends that one up to a deepish mid-off, and Goldie does the fielding. And there's no one. But this, I have to say, though, that rugby school looked after Warwickshire very well indeed, and we were blessed with beautiful weather for the first 2 games. The second match, unfortunately, went down to Duckworth Lewis. This one beats Libby outside the off-stump, brings him forward, and at the last minute he just slides the bat out of the way, and the ball goes through pitches and seams its way through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Yeah, it's a
तो
lovely
ईद हृदय बल्लेबाजी करने के लिए
taking school teams there and representative teams, and lovely place to play. Great history, of course, as well. Before that, so I was pleased to hear that Warwickshire were playing. That's another good thing about this competition, isn't it? That teams will be getting to their outgrounds.
Absolutely.
Good to see, always good to see.
तो हृदय ने अभी तक 3 गेंदों का सामना किया है, अभी तक खता नहीं खोल पाए हैं। तो हृदय ने अभी तक 3 गेंदों का सामना किया, अभी तक खता नहीं खोल पाए हैं। वहीं दूसरी ओर बात करें लिटन कुमार दास ने 9 गेंदों में 22 रन की पारी खेल चुके हैं अभी तक।
And the club doing it, and well done to them. And the 3 games were, it was a delight to be there.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm sure it was.
Defended down into the end inside. Will Rhodes does the fielding. Mike Taylor is going to come back on because he's got a news update to do in a minute.
और यहाँ मेरन विकेट के साथ गए हैं रवि बिश्नोई।
You can always move across here when Mike's done his news bulletin if that works, but I don't mind, entirely up to you. Kevin Howells might come in and do a little bit of commentary as well. But the news from Edgbaston is that we should have made a steady start. On is probably a little bit even at the moment, but good breakthroughs for the Warwickshire bowlers. Michael Ray and Ed Barnard picking up wickets in the 10th and the 11th overs of this innings. Ray bowls and nearly gets another one as he throws this one wide outside the off stump of Pollock. Throws his hands at it, looking to drive it through extra cover, but makes no contact, fortunately for him. Ray can't believe he didn't dismiss him in the previous over, and he certainly started very well here, the Kiwi. 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 9 before this one. 57 for 2.
Got a little bit of pace about him, isn't he?
Balance as well, a bit of carry. He's done Pollock again, he can't believe it. He'll be starting to chirp a little bit out there, I think, in a minute. He won't have probably bowled against Ed Pollock before, and he won't possibly be aware that this is very much par for the course, really. Pollock just as likely to play and miss as he is to whack it for 4, but if you don't know that, I don't know what to expect. It could be a bit frustrating, but he's certainly putting him under a bit of pressure here. Right, good bowling.